Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. One of the interesting stories of the day is former Minister of Finance, Ignatius Chombo. He has got his farm back. For some of you who are not familiar with the gentleman, he was the Minister of Finance in the Mugabe administration just before the military coup of 2017. And when he was arrested, as you can see there in the picture, that's Mr. Chombo himself, and in the room, boxes full of cash. This has become the common theme in Zimbabwe: corruption. Why would the minister have so much cash in his own private residence? It beggars belief. It really beggars belief. I think many people have tried to deny that the Mnangagwa regime, the Mugabe regime was corrupt, but I think that has failed to to get any traction. Corruption was rampant. The only difference is Mnangagwa and his friends in the army, when they took over in 2017, as is shown there in the cartoon, they insisted that the coup primary purpose was to end the corruption. But as we can see, 27 years later in 2024, the pile of loot has grown considerably. But to go back to the story of Mr. Chombo, his problem was that he was caught in the wrong side of the factional war. He was arrested and was kept in jail, house arrest, for some time, and then finally released. And the issue with his farm, the regime was after him and was taking it away from him, and ostensibly to give it to his wife, who has remained loyal to the regime. Sounds like the two of them have had their problems. Without going into the details of the case, he has had a court ruling saying that he should be allowed to keep his farm. But the most important issue here is that Zanu PF thugs only welcome you when you are useful to them. Here is an individual who was a member of the Zanu PF politburo. So were many others, like Jonathan Moyo, Sevia Kasukuwere, who, when the coup happened, they found themselves on the wrong side, on the wrong faction. And the losing faction were persecuted. That is one thing that Zanu PF has been good at. And we are now talking of the opposition. And the opposition failed to implement the democratic reforms during the GNU when they had the best opportunity to do so, because they were bribed. Here is a video clip of somebody talking or revealing the details of the opposition leaders who have been given farms by Zanu PF.
Basi likafira msango munhu asina kwaari kuenda bhazi mumu anofara kuti ndopatopumba pake nditori nevamwe vangu pana munhu anorwadziwa nekurara musango munhu ane kumba
taibadana kumba kwangu
but amana kumba kugombezi rangu reria mana so but munhu asina imba atete kurara musango. So opposition inomeka sure kuti vanhu vaya vawane minda, but may he so yeah, rest in peace vatsvangirai prazi ravo vanga vainaro Chamisa anaro
ane famu
kana azoramba ndoenda newe
riri kupi
ane famu
ribi
I know madress emunhu anetsa kuti focha but anaro chakudza off camera.
Okay,
ane mine ane makaseo
yeah,
yes biti ane plus hauna kumboona here picture yabiti achitenga mombe kuna Temba Mliswa dzekuisa kuplus. One of the biggest beef producers in the Matabeleland region, the Washman Ngwe.
Okay,
Yes, ane plus ana utenga beneficiary by land reform. But what they did is to discourage their people from acquiring my farms, because vaiza kuti munhu akaona something chapiwa nehurumende achapikisa.
Are you for real, Mr. Gansha?
Nomubvunza Washman Ngwe kuti haasi kuita beef here, producer beef here paplus. Tonyandanetsana upo ching'ono gore rere. Handiti kuti stand ya upo ching'ono standard ine painogumira. But vakatotaura nehurumende nemasabhuku ikaextendwa because aita good.
Reality, the political reality in Zimbabwe is that the opposition leaders failed to implement even one token reform during the GNU when they had the best opportunity to do so, because they were bribed. Many of us all along thought they were bribed with the trappings of high office, the E-class Mercedes-Benz, the generous salaries and allowances, particularly during the GNU when there were ministers and deputy ministers, deputy prime ministers and prime ministers. But we have since, as revealed in that video clip, there's since come out that these opposition leaders also got farms and a lot of other cash to start other businesses, like Chamisa has got the car sales. The truth of the matter is, as we know with our friend Chombo, Zanu PF will only tolerate you as long as you are useful to the party. The minute you fall out with the party, they will reject you and discard you like used toilet paper. This is a fact. Chamisa has come back to the political stage after leaving in a half at the end of 2023 elections. He had played his role for Zanu PF. He had conned millions of Zimbabweans to participate in those flawed elections to give Zanu PF legitimacy. He had created a totally dysfunctional political party, Triple C, insisting that it was all part of the so-called strategic ambiguity. But when the party imploded, he left the whole party in a huff, complaining that the whole party had been infiltrated by Zanu PF, the very thing that strategic ambiguity was meant to stop. Then there was all the lies, claiming that he had plugged the vote rigging loopholes when he clearly had not, and many others. He left in a hurry because he didn't want to be held to account. And he didn't want the whole truth to be known. He has since come back. He has to dance. Zanu PF wants him to con millions of people to participate in 2028 elections to give Zanu PF legitimacy. If this assignment implodes in his face again, Chamisa will be politically finished. He will lose all political credibility completely. And Zanu PF will discard him, just as they've discarded many others before him. And he may even lose the 2 farms. He will not be so lucky. Chombo was able to get back his farm. Chamisa may not be so lucky. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.